Question: why is it that white people do not tend to stir up a fuss or complain much when they are potentially the victims of racism? I mean, after all, black folks, Hispanics, minorities, we don't hold a patent on being a victim of racism. This shit can and often does happen to white people too. Real quick, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Today we're going to be coming to you with a sad and disturbing case of 14-year-old Ryan Rogers. He is a high school freshman out of Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. On November 15th of this year, 14-year-old was out bike riding, suddenly came up missing. Soon after, his mom reported him missing to police. Unfortunately, 24 hours later, his body was found in a wooded area off in a ditch. The 14-year-old had been stabbed several times, stabbed repeatedly, according to police, about the face and head. At the crime scene, they found a pair of headphones, which they tried to return back to his parents, and the parents immediately stated that those headphones did not belong to their son. So in the investigation, the police decided to do a DNA test on those headphones to see if any kind of hit came back out of their criminal database or wherever the case may be, and it did. It came back to one Simi Williams Jr. This 39-year-old is a career criminal in multiple states. Oh man, it's a laundry list actually. Just from the ages of 21 to 24, he was arrested 3 times in Florida alone. Domestic violence battery, carrying a concealed weapon, violating a protection order on domestic violence. But that's not even what takes the cake. In 2014, Fulton County, Georgia, down there in Atlanta, he was charged with strangulation, battery on an elderly man, and he was facing 21 years because he tried to kill this guy. Now, this individual is Dennis Brinks. I want you to look at Dennis Brinks, and you'll know immediately why I asked the question I asked at the beginning of this video.
Very sorry this has happened. It shouldn't have. Shouldn't be dead. He should be alive.
News of Ryan Rogers' murder has Dennis Brinks looking back 7 years when the man accused of killing Rogers ambushed him on an Atlanta sidewalk, tried to strangle him to death, then tossed him into a ditch.
He's a killing machine. And I know what he does is he stakes it out, he hides, and somebody comes along, he throws him off guard, and then he just finishes him and he gets this intense pleasure, just brutalizing.
What the fuck is up? Now, you already know if this was reversed, you got Sharpton, you got Jackson, you got Black Lives Matter out in droves. You see the victims, you see the criminal. Now, it gets worse, folks. Now, the strangulation case that I just showed you, this guy was facing 21 years for that because he obviously tried to kill that guy. He was facing 21 years for that. And a judge in Fulton County, Georgia, down in Atlanta, Thomas Cox, this judge, Thomas Cox, gave this man 5 years with 3 as time served because he was in a mental institution. Now, he was facing 21 years for that strangulation charge. Had he done even 8 of those years, this 14-year-old would still be alive. I'm bringing this up because this has a lot of similarities to the Darrell Brooks case that I mentioned, or I did a video on, the black racist out of Waukesha, where he took his car and tried to run over and mow down as many white people as he could get his hands on. He killed 6 of them in that holiday parade. The similarities is that both of these men tried to kill someone before they ended up killing the people that we're making these videos about. So both of these individuals, Darrell Brooks and now Simi Williams, they both should have been in jail already. They should have been serving very lengthy prison sentences. Darrell Brooks would have probably been serving the rest of his life, and Simi Williams, the 21 years he was facing, he should have gotten most of that, at least fucking half of it. To get that man 5 years and 3 as credited already off, he got out of jail in 24 months. In 24 months, he was out free again. I don't even think, looking at that video, looking at the way this man was damaged, that's 63-year-old man, the way he's damaged in that picture, I doubt if he was even recovered in 24 months. So like I said, why aren't white people complaining the same way blacks are? I just have to ask this question. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? I mean, you already clearly know what would be happening if Simi was a white guy and Ryan Rogers, that little 14-year-old child being stabbed in the face, stabbed in the neck, was black. Or if this 39-year-old guy was strangling a 63-year-old black man and he was white, you already know how we'd be acting. You know how we'd be acting, we'd be going off. Now, Judge Cox down in Fulton County, Georgia, should also have some explaining to do. This is very similar, like I said, to the situation in Wisconsin, where that judge and that prosecutors, people are after that individual. They want that person held accountable. Well, that should apply in this case as well, because you're letting folks out with a ridiculous crime in a very short period of time. And this, once again, strikes a blow to the claim that, you know, white privilege and only folks with influence and very little pigment tend to get out on short sentences. These are two people, neither one of these individuals are white or wealthy, that served a very short time for a very horrendous string of crimes. So I will end the video the exact same way I started it. Why don't white people tend to stir up a fuss or voice a complaint when they are potentially the victims of racism? Is there someone out there that think that this may not be racism? I mean, this guy, you see what he's targeting. Now, I did not run any checks on a lot of the other victims, like the domestic battery violations and the other crimes that he committed in the other states. I had no clue what the race of those victims are. But based on what I just showed you alone, us black folks would probably be out pitching a bitch about what's going on. So anyhow, let me know, what do you think? Once again, subscribe to the channel. We talk about all things politics and current events, and this sure is one. Feel free to click like if you're liking the videos. If you dislike the videos, which this one has a whole lot of shit to dislike, no problem there. Drop a comment. We respond to all comments. As usual, this is your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. I will catch you in the next video.